Welcome back to my channel, Melanated Gods of Earth, brothers and sisters. I'm your host, MODISE, the High King, Royal Family. If you're new, make sure you head on over to my page. If you enjoy the video, smash the subscribe, the thumbs up, let the algorithm know what's good. If you enjoy the video, let other like-minded souls know that we're out here with the share, Royal Family. Africa's rising and none can do anything to stop it. Not the Western powers who stand to lose, as they have kept us in submission for 400 years. A literal Hunger Games struggle, brothers and sisters. But of course, as of late, we've been keeping track of events going on in West Africa and other parts of the world, yeah? Be not afraid of what the representatives of Western democracies do in West Africa. France, Europe, all of Western civilization will panic and do what it can to maintain their iron grip on our resources, to maintain their economies. Yes, they will do these things. But between the unity displayed by black people on the continent and in the diaspora in the modern day era of defense of one another and our future as a people, in honor of our ancestors, between Mali, Burkina Faso and other African countries who said we will defend Niger, do not be afraid. The youth of this continent are speaking with one voice. Agents of the West can only squirm and squirm in defense of the master. So ECOWAS is planning to ECOWAS orders immediate activation of standby military forces against Niger Junta. I cannot go into all the clips today. I do not have all the time, unfortunately, but I will have a quick few moments to see what that is about.
Extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government on the political situation in Niger, 10th August 2023, final communique. The Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States convened in an extraordinary session in Abuja, Nigeria on 10th August 2023 under the chairmanship of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority. The extraordinary summit was convened as a sequel to the recent one held on 30 July 2023, following the illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum by the members of the Presidential Guard in the Republic of Niger on 26 July 2023.
Illegal by whose standards?
Present at the summit were the following heads of state and duly mandated representatives
of Western democracies.
Patrice Talon, President of the Republic of Benin. His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, President of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency Umaru Sissoco Mbalo, President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau.
Western powers impose new sanctions on Belarus.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
Sanctions.
President of the Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal. His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. His Excellency Faure Gnassingbé, President of the Togolese Republic. His Excellency Mamadou Tangara, Minister of Foreign Affairs, representing His Excellency the President of the Gambia. His Excellency Ambassador D. Maxwell Sarr Kemaya, Minister of Foreign Affairs, representing His Excellency the Head of State, the President of Liberia. His Excellency Bellarmino Silva, Ambassador of Cape Verde, representing His Excellency the President of Cabo Verde.
How can they all be sitting in this room thinking that they're all making the right choice when the majority youth of this country, Niger, and other parts of the West African region are all saying the same thing? So this generation that is so adamant of being chummy with the West, perhaps they haven't suffered enough coups. Maybe they need more coups. Like I said, When it's a coup, not a coup. It's when it's a revolution.
Attended by Evariste Nyasmia, President of the Republic of Burundi, His Excellency Mohamed Ould Ghazouani, President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Omar Ali Touré, President of the Commission, His Excellency Leonardo Santos Simao, Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel and Head of ECOWAS, His Excellency Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, Commissioner for Peace and Security, representing the Chairperson of the African Union Commission. The authority, having considered the memorandum presented by the President of the ECOWAS Commission on the current situation in the Republic of Niger, as well as ECOWAS engagements since the last extraordinary summit, and having considered the reports of the envoys of the chair to Niger and various other places, carefully considered the report and recommendations of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, extensively discussed the latest development in Niger since the last extraordinary summit held on 30 July 2023, noted that all diplomatic efforts made by ECOWAS in resolving the crisis have been defiantly repelled by the military leadership of the Republic of Niger.
You're damn right.
Note of the expiration of the one-week ultimatum given for the restoration of constitutional order in the Republic of
Ultimatums. Who are you handing out ultimatums?
Decide as follows. A, reiterates its strong condemnation of the attempted coup d'etat and the continued illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum, his family, and members of his government. B, further condemns the condition in which President Bazoum is being detained and hold the CNSP fully and solely responsible for the safety, security, and physical integrity of President Bazoum, members of his family, and government. C, uphold all measures and principles agreed upon by the extraordinary summit held on Niger on 30th July 2023. Underscore the determination of the ECOWAS authority to keep all options on the table for the peaceful resolution of the crisis. Enforce all measures, in particular border closures and strict travel bans and assets freeze, on all persons or groups of individuals whose actions hinder all peaceful efforts aimed at ensuring the smooth and complete restoration of constitutional order.
Yo, the West is working hard, isn't it? My God.
Directly or indirectly hindered the peaceful resolution of the crisis in Niger, about the consequences for their action before the community. Call on the African Union to endorse all the decisions taken by the ECOWAS authority on the situation in Niger. Further call on all partner countries and institutions, including the United Nations,
There you go.
to support ECOWAS in its effort to ensure a quick restoration of constitutional order in conformity with its normative instruments. Direct the President of the Commission to monitor the implementation of the sanctions. Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately.
To do what? To do what?
The deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order
Are you really?
of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. Express appreciation to His Excellency General Abdusalami Abubakar, His Eminence Muhammadu Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, Ambassador
The
Baba
desert
Ibe,
people.
special envoy missions undertaken in Niger,
Look at that
Libya,
swag.
and Algeria on behalf of the Chair of Authority. Express gratitude to His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority, for convening the extraordinary summit and for the manner in which he has been conducting the affair of the community as Chair of Authority. Done at Abuja this 10th day of August 2023. I thank you.
Are we really gonna just mobilize our own people to defend foreign interests in Africa? Are we really gonna ignore the youth of those regions who are saying no more France, no more French companies, no more European companies, no more American companies exploiting our resources, no more puppet regimes who sign these bad deals? This is a room full of those who are signing those bad deals. They're all afraid. A room full of people who are on the verge of being couped themselves. They think they're above it. That their nations are so stable that they're, in fact, let me not even go into that. There's a clip that I want to share before we continue onward. Should I share the original or the one that I made? Okay, let's share the original because
America is scared right now. Britain is scared right now because they see Guinea under independent leadership. They see Mali under independent leadership. They see Burkina Faso under independent leadership. They see Niger under independent leadership. They afraid. They scared. They think y'all going to end up infecting Chad with revolutionary African power. Where my Chadian Africans at?
Where you at, family?
Where my Chadian Africans at? They think you're going to end up infecting Congo with your revolutionary spirit. They're afraid you're going to end up infecting the Democratic Republic of Congo with your revolutionary spirit. They're afraid you're going to infect Gabon with your revolutionary African spirit. Turn this into a United States of Africa. And then I want you to have a conference of all African leaders who want to be part of the United States of Africa. African Union is over. It's time for the United States of Africa.
They're out there betraying us.
The ancestors have spoken, and the ancestors have said that the African Union is over. It's time for a United States of Africa. I'm calling on the president of Guinea, the president of Burkina Faso, the president of Niger, and the president of Mali to be the first 4 countries to sign on to a united.
Is that a glitch? Oh, the video's done. Yeah. A united Africa. Brothers and sisters, what is happening out there is a point of change. Niger coup leaders claim France is currently invading. So between ECOWAS operating on behalf of, because we know the French cannot do anything on their own. They've been out there. We've been seeing the media coverage. I've covered this in previous video clips. You make sure you go check that thing out. We can still fix this. Yes. Africa continues to shock the world as envoy meets Niger coup leaders, but talks fail. Because Niger is out there holding the ground, people. But let's see what other, outside of ECOWAS being used as a tool, what other efforts are being made by Western powers.
Here is your latest Africa news. France is invading Niger, coup leaders announce. Coup leaders in Niger claimed that France is attempting to destabilize the West African country by releasing captured terrorist elements and violating airspace during a press briefing in Niamey on Wednesday. Here is what the spokesperson, Colonel Major Amadou Abdrahmani, had to say. National Council for the Safeguard of the Homeland, CNSP, wishes to inform national and international opinion of the extremely serious events currently taking place in Niger in relation to the behavior of the French forces on our territory and their accomplice. Today, August 9th, 2023, at around 6:30 a.m., the Niger National Guard position at Borku Borku, 30 kilometers from the Samira gold mining site, came under attack.
Whoa.
At this time, the death toll has not yet been established. Through direct communication with Western partners, the French forces were blamed for unilaterally releasing captured terrorist elements. The latter were grouped together in a valley in the village of Fitili, 28 kilometers northwest of Yatakala, where a planning meeting was held with a view to attacking military positions in the tri-border area. As part of their clear desire to destabilize, these French forces took off today, August 9, 2023, with an A450M military aircraft from N'Djamena at 6:01 a.m. local time. This aircraft voluntarily cut off all contact with air traffic control at the entrance to our airspace from 6:39 to 11:15 local time. These acts confirm our analysis of the situation. But beyond that, since the CNSP took power, and in the interest of a new approach to security, we are witnessing a veritable plan to destabilize our country. To this end, the President of the CNSP, Head of State and Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, has ordered the following measures. The FDS to raise their alert level throughout the country, and the people to remain mobilized and vigilant. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for
that was
the
very
YouTube
supportive,
algorithm.
informative.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember,
I mean, expect an all-out war. Do not be naive and to think that this little situation is just gonna go gently into the night. It won't. The powers that were that colonized us are all invested in maintaining an iron grip on our resources to keep themselves alive and afloat. Between their agents and their own capacity to invade, Lords have mercy on us all. Junta in Niger declares new government as ECOWAS mulls strategy. That was a DW news clip just to...
We begin with a military coup in Niger. Leaders of the West African bloc ECOWAS are now in the Nigerian capital to hold an emergency summit.
Well, we just watched that.
Their next steps after Niger's coup.
But of course, you know, it's always important to see not just what the tools do in the name of the West, but what the West has to say about it. Because they love to comment.
This ignored a 7-day deadline from ECOWAS to reinstate the deposed president.
The current political unrest and coup in Niger is putting ECOWAS to the test. The Economic Community of West African States bloc was formed in 1975 and comprises 15 African countries.
That was
Niger
still
Nigeria.
in the iron grips of colonial
also addressed
control
and military unrest in the past with some success. It sent peacekeeping missions and ECOWAS-backed forces into the Gambia, Ivory Coast and Guinea-Bissau. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, who is also currently the ECOWAS chairman, appeared to be pushing for military intervention.
Because of France.
Say that's unlikely. Nigeria will have to provide the bulk of the military resources and is itself struggling to deal with an insurgency. Also, ECOWAS members are split on the use of force. Mali and Burkina Faso both support Niger's coup leaders and have said they will come.
And South Africa, we are cha. Hey.
Meanwhile, other countries are backing diplomacy and suggesting ECOWAS extend its deadline for the reinstatement of Niger President Mohamed Bazoum. But mediation attempts have so far been rebuffed by the junta. So the bloc may now look to expand the economic and travel sanctions that it has already imposed.
Sanctions. Western tools.
Reporter Waisu Idris joined us earlier from Nigeria's capital Abuja, where the members of ECOWAS are meeting at this moment. And he told us what's happened so far.
Well, presidents from West African countries, members of ECOWAS, have started arriving at the venue of the meeting, which is taking place at the presidential villa Abuja. They are going to meet on issues that has to do with this impasse on Niger, because whether they are going to take the issue of military intervention or they are going to continue with the economic sanctions and then seeking for bilateral solution through diplomatic means, which has been on, especially from yesterday, what we have seen.
Now, ECOWAS is a pretty diverse bloc of countries. What is at stake for them in this standoff with Niger?
Yes, ECOWAS is hoping to find solution to this problem as soon as possible, because it is a test for ECOWAS as at the present situation. This is the first time ECOWAS is taking a military intervention in any member country, and some are seeing this as an aggression. Already a group has approached ECOWAS court here in Abuja. They want the court to declare the military intervention as an aggression against Niger Republic's integrity, because
that's right.
As a sovereign country, you cannot attack it. You can only improve, you can only use pressure groups, civil rights organizations to restore democracy in that country.
Now, there are also reports coming.
Their first military action, and it's to defend Western military interests. I mean, resource interests, everything, all these interests. You would think that we as Africa should be banding together to form. In fact, I'll touch on that. Let's just let this finish real quick. Sorry about that.
Leaders have formed a new government. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, the military junta has announced a 10-to-1 Council of Ministers, which is an indication of consolidating of their power, the grip on their power, because they already announced a prime minister who was working for the African Development Bank and has a lot of contacts abroad. Some people even see his own presence as serving a link, a kind of trying to give the junta credibility. Because after several efforts to meet the junta, the former governor of Central Banks of Nigeria was able to meet with the
look at all those gents,
leader, which was an
warriors,
of going to the prime minister, who happens to maybe work with him in some.
And you would want to invade Niger.
Consolidating their power there and telling people, telling ECOWAS that there is no possibility of bringing back Bazoum as president. Maybe negotiation of when are we going to hand over to the next, and how are we going to do it?
Why so interest there in Abuja?
No interest in bringing back the former dude who was cool for being an agent of Western democracies, but we can talk about bringing the next one. That's fair. Between that clip, this brother nailed something real quick.
These are my people. I don't care what anybody says. These are my people. That is the Africa I want. That is the Africa we need. They divided Africa, made these nonsense borders, so we cannot support each other, so we cannot help each other, so we cannot stand with each other. So they can attack African people and African countries one by one.
One by one.
These borders in Europe. Their countries are open to each other, and they have one army. It's called NATO. If you attack France, Germany is in the war. If you attack Italy, France in the war. But we don't have this army. We stupid, really. Man, I'm from Somalia, I'm from Kenya, I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Mali, I'm from there, I'm from there. Man, this is nonsense. The French is trying to attack Niger right now.
Right now.
They are trying to airstrike Niger. You know what else? Germany said, if you succeed bombing Niger, we are going to join the war. That is the same thing that they have been complaining about Russia of doing. They've been forcing all the world to sanction and be against Russia because Russia invaded Ukraine. But they are trying to do the same thing, and nobody is going to do nothing.
That's where we are now, family. The youth are having these conversations. We are looking at the agents, the elders who have been democratically elected but are ultimately representative of Western powers and are serving Western powers in defense of Western interests as we speak. And we, the youth, are saying enough is enough. If the presidency of West Africa and ECOWAS does not acknowledge that the majority of voices on the ground are youthful and they are saying no more, then perhaps they are on the verge of being couped themselves. They should get couped. You know, they're asking for it. They are asking for it.
American officials say they are not yet. I don't know if you know what's going on in Niger or Niger.
A few minutes of this.
And I like to say Niger. And so there was a coup there, right? So they overthrew the government, which is, by the way, in bed with the United States and France and NATO and all that stuff. So I think what happened is they kind of, it says coup leaders grow increasingly defiant. U.S. officials are losing hope.
That's wow.
Wow. Yeah. So American officials say they are not yet leaning towards formally declaring this a coup, which would, under U.S. law, trigger a halt to training of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Heavy.
Oh, so this is, so we can't let Niger have their own rule or whatever, overthrow their government, because we got a drone base there. We got probably around 1,100 soldiers there. Soldiers in Niger. Did you know that?
I think this is like another case like Ukraine of most people like, I'm just hearing about this place now.
Yeah. So the U.S. so they're not going to call, because they don't want to mess up. The U.S. military support in the country gives Washington a bargaining chip. What? Because the coup leaders told U.S. officials they want to keep it. You mean the military support? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. I thought they said for everybody to get out, but nobody's. But it's very strange.
Wow. Okay, well, they're not yet leaning towards calling it a coup. Don't you hate when somebody pulls this is well, anyway, Niger is right next to Libya, and let's remember what happens when America intervenes. When America and France intervene in Africa, this is what happens. Okay, we wreck the place. Libya was the
We came, we saw, he died. She joked. But overthrowing Gaddafi was a humanitarian and strategic debacle that now limits our options on North Korea. They destroyed Libya, people. What more do you need to be told about what we're up against?
most successful country in all of Africa. Everybody had a great standard of living. We wrecked the country and we turned it into a place with open slave markets.
Oh, but it's getting late, family.
We turned it over to terrorists. We wrecked their country. That's what the United States and France did to Libya, the country right next to it. Now France, the real headline, I guess I buried the lead maybe, is that France is starting to bomb Niger now. Huh, interesting. French troops attacked the Nigerian National Guard and violated the country's airspace, according to the military junta in Niger.
I'm just going to call it an end on that because it's getting late, people. If you do not already know, brothers and sisters, we are at war. Whether you are African on the continent or in the diaspora, our mineral deposits, as dictated by those who came before us, are the blessings for African people and African people on the continent and in the diaspora. All of this is also about you, brother and sister, over there in London or in America, in the Caribbean islands. If you haven't thought about how I, a person of African descent, am involved or stand to lose from foreign powers, Western powers, exploiting my country, my continent of ancestry. These are the questions that must run through your head. I sit here now in South Africa watching as these countries continue to ignore that Africa is speaking with one voice. The French, America, London, Britain, all of them have interests all over the continent. They have embassies all over the continent. There is very little that they can do without suffering absolute retaliation from the modern generation. There's a clip that I would like to share just to end that note. Yeah, let it be this one, then just I'll stop when you are gone. When you have called your family back in the Netherlands, ask them to chop down some trees, mail you over some wood so you can build yourself a boat, just like your ancestors and your forefathers, and you and yours can get back on it through Cape Town back to the Netherlands. Until such time, there is no reason for me to allow you and yours to live in peace. There are way too many of my people on the continent and in the diaspora who continue to suffer, and therefore neither can you live in peace. If they cannot live in peace, you won't. It's only fair. Balance. You don't like it? Like I said, call your kin. Let them send you some wood. We must tell the enemy to leave. Whether it's the colonizers who occupy us here in South Africa, whether it's the military bases all across the continent belonging to America, London, NATO, all of them. One more message for the youth. The matter is, royal family, unless we Africans are willing to express thoroughly to Western powers that if they try anything, if the French and Germany and other countries, probably NATO, drop airstrikes on Niger, if they continue inciting African countries to fight one another on behalf of them, they need to recognize that the youth of Africa is their greatest nightmare. We are not our elder generation who are under their influence. No. If they want this war, one must stand ready, ladies and gentlemen. Identify French embassies, French interests in Africa and across the world. Walk up to that embassy and let it know that nonsense in Africa is not going to fly. Are we prepared? Are we prepared, family? If you haven't subscribed already and enjoyed the video, make sure you do that thing, and I'll appreciate you, family. Thank you for watching. Share if you can. Stay royal, stay dangerous. Rise on, family. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.